Hello, my name is Charles Brooks, and I'll be giving you a Psych 625 overview and analysis over my chosen article, which is a 2011 from the Journal of Clinical and Experimental Neurology Psychology. And the title of my article is An Experimental Study of Prospective Memory in Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. Okay, a brief overview of my article. Basically, this article will overall focus on analysis to examine the functionality and prospective memory of patients, specifically displaying obsessive compulsive disorder (OCD). This analysis will be centered upon prospective memory tasks rendered to a group of 15 to 20 physically sane individuals. Additionally, prospective memory training has generated drastically elevated costs regarding reaction time for OCD individuals when these tasks are actually administered. Other research has also shown that substantial group investigational environmental interfaces in these administrative tasks with RTs were also discovered. This is what openly proposes that PM training and coaching encumbered additional costs towards individuals with OCD doing administrative interaction, and this was also autonomous to the actions of the prospective memory purposes. My analysis, as far as I'm concerned, will also bring to light some of the important group variations as comparison amongst patients and healthy adults are made. My outcomes should ultimately identify that OCD patients deal with hardships during these PM tasks, and these hardships are spun basically from excessively examining the provocations of the PMQs. To further break down this article, we'll look at the analysis of the actual methodology of the research utilized. The method and the design utilized is one that basically originated from within the research and studies of the works by the author of this actual article, Brigitte, which led a team of other journalists back in 2001. The role of rostral frontal cortex in prospective memory, lateral versus medial dissociation. Within their work, an event-based PM tasks were administered to each participant under three defined conditions. The first condition is the baseline condition, in which there was no expectation that the PM stimuli would occur, and no PM stimuli actually occurred. And number two, an expectation condition in which participants were told that PM stimuli might occur, though none did occur. And finally, the third one, an execution condition in which participants were told that PM stimuli might occur and stimuli did occur, which is something that these authors actually work towards, and they actually accomplish their task. I'll move further along and talk about independent and dependent variables. First, I'll go into dependent variables. The major dependent variable of this research are the truthful replies that were given by the actual individuals from the simple and idealistic defined tasks that were administered to them. We can also assume that reaction time figures during these tasks are more revealing and sensitive in this case than the faults or errors, which were almost little to none in the entire analysis, because of the construction of the actual task. They made it very simple, and it didn't produce very many errors. Actually, it didn't produce no errors. The study and the design. The design, I guess you could first look at. Uh, we only used. Well, I'm gonna say we, because I chose this article, so I could say we only utilize event-based tasks and not the time-based PM task. And a time-based PM task would have allowed us to directly measure monitoring activity in terms of checking the actual behavior over an extended period of time. It's like an enduring task. Secondly, we found group differences in RTs and not in the hits and misses. So possibly this explains our data that. So possibly explanations of the data brought forth to the group differences are the consequences of general and intended and not for the PM to be a dysfunction. Okay. Next, we want to talk about the explanations of the actual results or the outcomes that this analysis was able to produce. Very similar to the research conducted by Burgess and his friends. Errors in the analysis for non-PM and PM similar, they were very rare. The same model typically that they followed is what was followed within this article. The mean percentage of errors for the ongoing tasks were analyzed in a group of back to patient versus healthy adult times the condition, which is the baseline expectation and the execution, which produced mixed analysis of variance. The same analysis was conducted on the mean percentages of two types of errors, the miss and the false alarm for the PM task. And through this, no significant differences were found. So there was no gap. They were pretty much along the same baseline. We also found the same results in the PM task execution conditions with the miss type errors not responding to, and the false alarm type errors responding to the PMQ when there should have been no response at all. So basically, this entire process, this entire analysis, really didn't produce too many errors or hardly any errors at all that could give you false readings or unvalidated readings. I really feel like the strengths and weaknesses of this study lay heavily upon the how the test was actually administered. And I would point out that one suggested weakness of this research, I really believe that the lack of the individual diversity in the actual participation. Look at making considerations to expand the group dimensions to more age groups and determine the analysis results between both male and female to see how they compare in a way. One of the major strengths that stood out within the study was basically the accuracy of the design of the entire methodology. I mean, it was spot on. Reading through the article and going over the article, that was a reoccurring theme that no errors were found. No errors were found. And very oftentimes when we do analysis on whether it be the study of human behavior or anything, within our society, it's very seldom that you get an error-free test. It's always a glitch. It's always something that could cause a faulty readings or make it inconsistent. But this didn't produce that. As to the suggestions for how to improve this research design, I would say there are various ways to improve this research, but I believe that the best way to maximize this research design is to merge the event-based tasks to other tasks that are enduring and centered upon time. By doing this, more elevated diagnosis and analysis can be determined. I've always thought to myself that anything that involves the study of human behavior must have an enduring timestamp on it to truly be valid, because we as humans, as a human race, we tend to adapt, fail, or succeed based upon the historical actions of others before us. So that is what I believe would help improve this research design. Thank you. My name is Charles Brooks. You have a blessed day.